Okay, today I'm going to be changing the oil filter on my 1929 Buick Standard 6. Let's get started. So I have an extra oil filter in the back seat. I ordered two when I ordered them. I just finished charging up the battery. Actually, there's the oil filter right there. It's about to rain cats and dogs. Why is it always about to rain cats and dogs when I make a video on the Buick in here? There are the clouds right there. See, that's how they should look. That's how they look right now. Anyway, spicy. Anyway, let's change the oil filter. Okay, I need to get to my toolbox under the seat here. Let me get these channel locks. Are those the only ones I have? Well, these will work too. Okay, let's get those, and now we will loosen the oil filter canister housing. There it is. Actually, I need a screwdriver too. Let me get that screwdriver. Where did I put that? Okay, now I will loosen the oil filter canister housing right there. After I loosen these. Okay, I've got the oil line off, which takes the oil to the valves and the camshaft and all that good stuff. It goes through this line after this brings it from the oil pump right here. It gets the oil pressure check through that line right there. There's a little brass Y over there on the side of the engine where it comes right out of the oil pump on the side of the engine. One of the splits goes to the oil gauge on the dash, and one of the splits goes down this pipe to here. It's not the ideal place to have that located because if a particle gets in it over there, it'll still register oil pressure, but it won't be coming through here. That happened when I first got the car, but I found it before it caused any catastrophic failures. So anyway, I fixed that. That is why there's a pressure gauge on here now. But once it comes out of the filter and it's been filtered, it goes through here, and you can see where it goes right up into the engine right there. From there, it goes down the camshaft inside the engine, and it goes across or through the lifters, not the lifters. What are those called? The rocker arms. It goes through the cylinder that the rocker arms sit on. Then once it gets to the end, gravity takes over. It falls down a little cylinder in the engine right there, and then goes into here and goes to the front bearings. Then after that, it falls back into the oil reservoir to repeat the process. Okay, now we're loosening the other line. This is not the ideal means to do so, but it's working. Okay, both lines are detached. Now we're going to oh, there's oil dripping out of there. It doesn't look too bad either. Anyway, and that's pre-filter. That's before the filter where it comes out. Anyway, I'm going to loosen these two screws down here under this tank. They're flat. They're regular screw heads, this kind. And then we'll be able to pull that whole filter canister off. Okay, here is the filter canister. Let's just pull the top off and replace the oil filter that's in there. Here it is. I really hope I don't need a wrench for this. I probably do. Actually, you know what? I have one in my truck, and it's over there. Okay, I got my oil filter wrench. Let's take this apart. Okay, I've loosened it. Let's take it off. There it is. Ugh. Nasty. Yeah, that needed to be changed. Okay, now I'm going to prime the new oil filter with some fresh oil. So I'll pour oil in here. That way, when I start the car, it's not just pumping oil into here and putting nothing in the valves and stuff, but it actually has something to push into the valves and everything, so it doesn't just run dry for a second. So lately on this car, I've been running 15W40 in it, diesel oil, because back when this engine was, when these engines were common, the zinc levels in oil were higher, and it was better for the valves and the tappets and everything, because those are high friction points, the tappets and lifters and all that. And instead of wearing on that metal part in there, in the tappets and lifters, it would wear on the zinc particles in the oil, preserving the tappets and lifters. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, I've poured some oil in there. There's some fresh oil. Now I'm going to put the canister back together. This part screws onto here. Notice how the cap is threaded. Okay, this is back on there and the gasket is between there. Let's put this back on here. And now let's put this back on the car. Okay, let's put it back on the car. Okay, the oil filter is back on. It fills up on the perimeter of that oil filter and it lets it out in the center. Let's start the car and check for oil leaks. Okay, here we go. I don't see any leaks. We have pressure there.